Alright y'all, for this DIY craft tutorial, we are going to be making rakharis together. This is a common celebration in South Asia. A lot of people refer to it as Raksha Bandan. In my family we call it Rakhari because we're Punjabi. So usually what people will do is they will go to the store and they will buy rakharis for their loved ones, but I kind of don't like the ones that are out on the market. It's a lot of bold colors and bling bling, and that's not really my vibe. Plus I always kind of like to hand make my rakharis. I grew up doing this tradition with my brothers and I really liked it, and I loved the celebration of that sibling bond. So I'm trying to carry on the tradition with my daughter and her making these rakharis for her brothers, but until she can sew, which won't be for a while because she's 3, I'm making them for her. And usually I do it in the theme of whatever her brothers like. So we had Harry Potter rakharis one year, we had sports rakharis another year. This year I decided to do something that she likes instead, which she's crazy obsessed with Frozen. So thought we could use these cool buttons I found at Joann's as the base of a rakhari. So that's what these are. These are actually just buttons. And as you can see, I've embellished them with sequins and beads and stuff like that. And I'd love to show you how I made each one, so stay tuned. You're going to need a ribbon that your rakhari is going to be sewn to, a needle and thread, some sharp scissors, and a ruler. So let's get started. Let's make this Elsa rakhari together. So I'm using white thread because I think that's going to go best with the colors that I have going on, with the blue, the white, the black. And I'm going to cut a fairly long piece of thread. Okay, I finally got this guy in. That's what she said. Okay, and the way I like to keep a knot at the end is I'm just going to take the end of the thread and pinch it between my thumb and pointer finger, wrap it around the rest of my fingers like that, kind of twist this guy together, and then pull it through, and hopefully there should be a knot. Yay, there's a little knot there, see that? So I'm just going to try to do the same thing, and if the gods shine down on me, the knot will be in the same place. Yay, it is. Wow, that never happens because I'm never this patient. All right, so let's cut our ribbon. I'm going to measure out about 16 inches. It's always better to have more than less to go around their tiny wrists. So I'm just going to measure it to that and use my handy scissors here and cut at an angle. I really don't mind which way the ribbon cuts. Honestly, I'm not a stickler for it. If you are, you can make it so that they match. And let's do this guy. So you'll notice I'm using kind of one thin ribbon, one thick ribbon. There's really not a rhyme or reason for that. These are the ones that I happen to have at home, and they kind of go with that Frozen color scheme, and that's the only reason that I use them. So use whatever ribbon would be good for you. I will say this gross grain, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, but this ribbon that has like the kind of ridges in it, I think it's easier to tie and to keep a knot. So I kind of like to use these for rakharis. This one is a little bit more silky, but I just like the black and white and how it went with, how it kind of matched Olaf. Take our ribbon, fold it in half, figure out where the halfway mark is. It's basically right at this white dot. So I'm going to put my needle from the back just in the middle of that dot, like that. I'm going to take my Elsa button, and it seems like she's pretty much in the middle too, which is cool. So I'm going to put my needle through that little loop-de-loop. So I'm going to secure her to this ribbon over and over again through that loop-de-loop. So I'm going to take it from the other side of the ribbon through the loop-de-loop, and then push my needle down from this side. So the more times you do this, the more times you're making it secure to your ribbon. Since this button is so large and kind of bulky, you want to try to do this as many times as you can to secure her so she's not just loosey-goosey on there. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm such an idiot. I forgot this little her hair. Okay, it's like an extra little piece that just snaps on. I was like, why does she look so weird? Why is she bald? Okay, so now we have Elsa on the Rakhari. I'm gonna bring my tray over here with all my embellishments. Maybe we can do silver sequins and silver beads because she's all about the silver, right? So one of the reasons I kind of liked this polka dot thing is it kind of gives a little bit of a base for my sequin because it's just a little bit wider than my sequin, so it kind of gives the effect of like a little flower or a little snowflake. So I'm going to push my needle through the middle of that white dot, and I'm going to pick up a silver sequin and push it all the way down so he's right in the middle. And then I'm going to take one of my silver beads and push him all the way down. Okay, so now there's a silver bead on top of a silver sequin. I'm going to move the bead out of the way so I can see the hole of the sequin, and I'm just going to push my needle down all the way through the ribbon so that the sequin and the bead stays in place like that. Not exactly in the center, but it'll do. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for this guy. Okay, and now I'm at the back again, so same thing. I'm gonna put a silver sequin in this white polka dot here with a silver bead to secure it. Okay, so we are at the very end of our Rakhari now. So we just need to secure the back with some of those stitches that go through the loop-de-loop that you create. So I'm going to push my needle through only on the back, and with the loop that it creates, I'm going to push my needle through that loop. Pull my needle through the loop, I should say. One more time. I see a loop here. I'm just going to pull my needle through, and let's do 3 times a charm. There you go. Of course that one made an extra loop, because why would it be perfect? Not at the very end of my video. Okay, cut this guy off, and here we go. That's our Elsa Rakhari. Super cute, if I do say so myself. Okay, y'all, let's make this Olaf Rakhari together. Okay, so let's put a knot at the end. One more time. Okay, that'll do. Our ribbon that we previously cut, and I'm just going to fold it in half like this, just so I kind of know where the middle is. So it's going to be right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take my needle and just do a stitch right here in the middle so that I keep my spot, right? So what's going to go in the middle of this guy is my Olaf button, and he's pretty symmetrical, and the buttonhole is not. So as you can see, the buttonhole is towards the base of his body, and so it's going to be bottom or maybe top heavy. I don't know actually, but let me go ahead and start sewing him in. So I'm going to take my thread, put it in this little loop-de-loop back here, run it all the way through, and then secure it to my Rakhari ribbon by sewing down from his body, right? So I'm getting pretty close to that original hole that we made earlier. So as you can see, that's not going to be enough, right? That's one little loop-de-loop. I got to keep on doing this multiple times so that there's a lot of thread securing him to that ribbon. So I'm just kind of angling it from the side so I can see where that loop-de-loop is, and then I just keep on running my thread over and over again from one end to the other, always taking care when I'm putting my thread back into the ribbon that I'm doing it kind of in the same spot. This is how I've secured him now. So I'm kind of jiggling him around. He's not really moving around that much, but it is definitely more secured towards the bottom because that loop-de-loop was at the bottom. So what I think I'm going to do, even though you're going to be able to see the ribbon, there's nothing I can do about that, is see this little twig, the top of his head? I'm going to try to secure some thread around here, and I'm going to go back and forth here just to secure him a little bit more to the ribbon. So I took my thread, I ran it from the bottom, and now I'm going to run it from the top on the other side of his twig. So it secures that twig down like that. You can't even really see it, honestly. So I'm just going to do it a few more times to secure it even more. Okay, so I do want to show you what I was talking about, that I did secure the top of his twig like that with some extra white, and you can't really tell. With this Olaf button, I actually had to do it with his arm twig because he's so lopsided. He actually hangs off the Rakhari. So if I didn't do that, he would just be loosey-goosey all over the place. So in this case, you do see the thread, and in hindsight, yes, Mom, I know I should have used brown. I know, I was lazy and I didn't want to rethread my needle. Yeah, so that's how I secured this guy. So you can be creative with it. These are rakharis. They're creative representations of your love for your brothers, right? So no one's going to be like, that doesn't look right. Okay, so for the next part, I'm going to add some embellishments, but I'm going to add these white sequins. And anytime you're working with sequins, you have to find a bead that can go in the middle to secure the sequin, because if you run your thread through the bottom of this hole and then run it again to secure the sequin, your sequin's just going to come out because there's no additional place for it to catch. So you need a bead so it'll secure the thread in place. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So since we're already at the top of our Olaf with the thread, because I just finished securing this twig guy, I'm gonna do a sequin design here, and maybe I will do it. Maybe I'll do like 2 sequins here at the top, and then maybe 2 sequins here at the bottom. So my thread's already at the back of my ribbon, so I'm just going to pop it in the front like that, and then take a white sequin and put it on my needle like that, so that the curved part is facing up, kind of like a flower petal. Now we're going to put the bead on the needle like this and push it all the way down. So it's just sitting right on top of your sequin like that, right? So now your thread is on top, right? You need to figure out a way to put the thread at the back of your ribbon. We're not going to go through the bead. We're going to go through the hole that you just made in your sequin, right? So I'm going to push the bead aside, grab the sequin hole, push it down, and that way my bead and my sequin is now secure. So I'm going to go a little bit up from that and do the exact same thing. Okay, so now my needle is in the back again, and I'm going to add some sequins to the bottom of Olaf. Okay, so we are done with our Olaf. Rakhi. As you can see, my sequins are not equidistant apart. That's okay. I was kind of more focused on making sure my shot was in the camera than I was on measuring these, but like I said, amateur seamstress here. So this is how you're going to finish off your Rakhari and make a knot at the back. So you're going to turn your Rakhari over, and right where you ended your last stitch, you're going to make a stitch only at the back. So see how my needle is just going in one side, out the other. And before I pull this all the way closed, this loop-de-loop, I'm going to put my needle through it. And when I do that, it automatically makes a knot. And I like to do it 2 or 3 times just to make it extra secure. One more time. Just like that. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut off the excess. This is our Olaf Rakhari. All right, and this was the Olaf one that I made before. All right, y'all, these are our frozen Rakharis. So these are the Rakharis my daughter is going to be gifting her brothers this year, aka my nephews. And I think they look pretty cute. I really like how they turned out. All right, y'all, that brings an end to our DIY tutorial today. I hope you had a great time crafting these Rakharis with me. If you have any ideas for how you can turn regular crafts into Rakharis, or ways that you've seen other people do it in the past, I'd love to know. I'm always looking for new trendy ideas on how to make my brothers and now my nephews Rakharis every year. So definitely let me know in the comments. And until next time, keep it crafty. Bye.